Hey folks, so far 2026 feels a little bit like this. The house is just burning down around us and we all have to just keep living and say this is fine, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff that's happened in the last couple of weeks. I haven't been able to talk about it. I kind of went away just before Christmas and I haven't really been back to talk about anything. But today I'm breaking that streak because I am back to talk about Christmas. Yes, an extremely cold topic, something that is not in the news and no one's talking about it. And you can say it's either 11 months early or 3 weeks late. Either way, I planned this video before I went away and now I'm back, so I'm just gonna put it out. And if you're wondering where I've been or where else you can see me when I'm on these kinds of breaks, I do have a podcast with my friend Connor, the For a Laugh podcast. We do weekly live episodes. So if you do want to check me out and see like a more regular version of me, aside from these videos that I take a little bit of time with and sometimes procrastinate my way to getting done, then go ahead and check out my podcast. But with that being said, let's jump right into Christmas of 2025. Was it AI Slop? I think it kind of was. But yes, today we're talking about Christmas and specifically the AI slopification of Christmas, the Christmas spirit, particularly Christmas advertising. And now I know some people might say, oh, well, Christmas has always been like a ultra-capitalist time of year. People spend money, companies spend money on advertising, and stores do all these big discounts and they bring in lots of profit. But you know, we kind of have like a agreed upon understanding in society that yes, we all go out and spend a lot of money and do our little consumerist good boy and girl stuff around the Christmas time, but we do that in service of gift giving, right? And spending time with our family and like sharing things with people. My point is, you know, you can have all of the money spent and you can want to make a profit during the Christmas period, but you got to still keep it like sweet and wholesome. You know, you got to have that warm Christmassy vibe. And unfortunately, much of that Christmas warmth and personal touch, I feel, is being lost by a lot of these big companies, particularly when it comes to their Christmas advertising. And today we're talking about two companies in particular, McDonald's and Coca Cola, two extremely large companies. Both employed AI in their Christmas advertising blitz. They were AI generated adverts that they as companies sent out to their consumers, and today I want to talk about them. First up, we have The Guardian reporting on the McDonald's advert. This says, quote, ruined my Christmas spirit. McDonald's removes AI generated ad after backlash. Commercial in the Netherlands depicting festival season chaos as most terrible time of year prompted flurry of criticism online, and you can consider me part of that criticism even though I'm a month late. But look, I think that AI is still a very prevalent part of what we're having to deal with as a broader society. I think throughout 2026, it's only going to get worse. And so I think it's important to look at the end of last year where I think we had a little bit of an inflection point. AI going from something was maybe a little bit for the tech nerds and for the people who know how to use tech to, I think in 2026, AI is just so prevalent. It's everywhere. It's going to be used in advertising, filmmaking, business, finance, probably in like doctors will be using this shit. I mean, it's going to be fucking everywhere, guys. And I'm not loving it. You see what I did there? That was a McDonald's pun. Gotcha! So basically McDonald's partnered with this AI production house, which is just such like a dumb even phrase that exists. Like, no, you're not an AI production house. You're just, I don't know, a computer company. But this AI production house that they partnered with goes by the name of Sweet Shop Films. Let me clarify. They are called Sweet Shop Films. Every time I read it as Sweatshop Films, and I know that's not what it's called, but it just looks like Sweatshop Films. You should not name your company so close to the word sweatshop, guys. Come on. But the CEO of Sweatshop, Melanie Bridge over here, says it was never about replacing craft. It's about expanding the toolbox, the vision, the taste, the leadership that will always be human. Well, thanks for reminding us, Melanie, that you're gonna be all right. You know, Melanie herself is always gonna have a role at this company because she's in a leadership position. But if you are like, oh, I don't know, a lighting person or a camera guy or an editor, you may not be long for this world, pal. You're going to be replaced by a whole warehouse of Melanie's and Melanie's personal assistants who will just tap and the computer will generate all of the work that you would have actually done with your hands and mind. But Anyway, Melanie goes on to say, and here's the part people don't see, the hours that went into this job far exceeded a traditional shoot. 10 people, 5 weeks, full time. Wow, am I impressed at the idea of 10 people in 10 people in an office sitting at their computers for a month. Wow, so impressive, man. Whoa. But no, I really don't like this justification, and it's a real sneaky way of fudging the numbers too, right? Because 10 people, I'll show you the advert, but if this advert was made with real life human actors, production crew, and all this other stuff, you would have employed way more than 10 people. And maybe you would have shot the thing in less than 5 weeks, but the amount of hours of like pay and wages that you would have actually paid to the production staff, to the actors, to all the people involved in physically making an advert when you actually do physically make an advert, that would have far exceeded the hours that went into this slop. You know, I miss the days of, like, I know this isn't AI, but this was almost like pre-AI when people would take photos and put them on these like dancing elves. I wish this is all that AI was getting used for, just to do like a slightly higher production version of this kinds of stuff. But no, it couldn't. AI could never be just this wholesome, you know. It had to go on and do all this kinds of generating without consent, at the click of a button, without any, you know, due diligence or hiring of any real people. I mean, if we're going to talk about consent, I guess a dog technically probably couldn't have consented to be putting onto this elf video, so I don't know, we may have to cancel these elf videos. But I digress. Let's move over to a much less wholesome version of Christmas AI advertising content. Jump scare is coming right behind me. Yeah, I don't know why that is the thumbnail, but this is the McDonald's AI ad. Let's take a look.
It's the most terrible time of the year. All the shops turn to mayhem, even Santa knows space, and the tree redecorated your place. It's the most.
Okay, so I mean, dog shit already, right? Like, that's the amount of cuts that we've had. They're barely spending any time with any of these characters or anything. Look, this is supposed to be a family. They're behind a window. There's windscreen wipers in front of them.
It's the most terrible time of the year.
And, you know, you notice that their AI cannot really handle, like, close-ups. It doesn't like going close, or I guess they don't like putting AI close-ups in ads like this because it becomes very obvious that it's AI generated.
Jobs turn to mayhem, even Santa knows space, and the tree redecorated your place. It's the most terrible time of the year. The roast turned to charcoal.
Okay, so I don't really get what they're going for thematically here. It's an irony, it's a joke. They're saying, like, it's supposed to be the best time of year, but it happens to also be very stressful and doesn't always go right. Let's go back to what she said here. 10 people, 5 weeks, full time. In this shot alone, like, if you had filmed this shot for real with actors and crew members, lighting people, cameras, you would have more than 10 people being paid for this shoot alone. And then you'd have money going to creatives, people who are actually wanting to work creatively. You're supporting the ability of those creatives to work and to have gigs and to have an income. That's what they could have done, but instead they got this scene by just tip-tapping away for like 10 minutes or something.
And the cookies burn too. Freaking chaos, it feels like a zoo. It's the most.
Not sure why they had to go for the close-up. I don't know why that is in. Oh man. I don't know why they chose to put those shots in there, but I guess they got a bit silly with it, you know?
It's the most terrible time of the year. So you bleed from the madness, the lights and the cheer, and hide out in McDonald's till January's here.
So I don't really get why it was in English. If it was a Netherlands ad, that part still kind of confuses me. Oh, and don't forget, let alone, you know, actors, camera people, crew members, they also, I don't think, got a singer to do that. That song, I think, was also AI generated. Isn't this end jingle Da, 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 da. Wasn't that originally Justin Timberlake or something? Ba 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 ba. It can be charming and human to associate things in these adverts with real artists, you know, whether they're singers or actors or whatever else. This to me is just like a soulless version of what could be an actual piece of art. It's like an echo of a real advert. You know, sometimes people in school would be tasked with writing something and they would just open Wikipedia and copy paste the whole paragraph. It feels like that. Like, it just doesn't feel authentic in any kind of a way. There's no warmth, no Christmas warmth, okay? And look, I could go through a whole bunch of the replies online. People are not happy. I hope you lose even more sleep, you vultures. Whenever you see an AI generated ad, just repeat this phrase. For our customers, slop is good enough. Coke, slop is good enough. McDonald's, slop is good enough. That's what they're saying. Eat the slop, piggies. Whether it's our ads or products, it's slop for you to consume. And yeah, unfortunately, whenever they put out ads like this celebrating what is a beloved time of year, that's how I'm left feeling. Like, they don't care what they're putting out because they think they can get away with it. I mean, I guess they can, but this, you know, videos like this, complaints on Twitter, that's the backlash, I guess. They look at that, they say, well, we can handle that. Our shares are still gonna, you know, go up. So now McDonald's did this AI ad, I think, because last year, and when I say last year, I mean in 2024, Coca Cola did an AI generated ad. This year in 2025, Coke again came back and did an AI generated ad. It's very similar to the McDonald's one. Let's take a look. This is Coca Cola. The holidays are coming. And, you know, you can see here at the start, it already says created by Real Magic AI. So already not very inspiring. And, you know, Coke has a lot of iconic imagery, the red, Santa Claus. Like, Coke is obviously known for their Christmassy imagery. And so, in my opinion, that's what makes it even more disappointing that they chose the AI slop route. But let's see what they cooked up over at the Coke factory. Okay.
Holidays are coming, holidays are coming, holidays are coming, holidays are coming, holidays are coming.
Okay, so the AI is chanting holidays are coming. Notice the animals as well, because they're easier. Animals have less of an uncanny valley trait to them. What I mean is when you try to like CGI a human or AI a human out of nothing, any little things that don't look right or look a little bit off, they stick out more because we know inherently what humans are supposed to look like. Whereas animals, we've seen animals be animated in CGI, in 2D. We're used to anthropomorphizing animals, and so our brains are a bit more okay with animals not looking like 100% realistic, and that's why they settled on having a lot of animals in this advert, because it just doesn't look as wrong to our eye. You know, there, like that panda, I guess, looks a lot more human and anthropomorphic, but because we're used to that, that looks more normal than a human that is AI generated that just doesn't quite look right. So yeah, lots of dumb animal stuff. They're trying to make it all warm lights and red colors and all these cute animals. And to be honest, I think they did this in particular so that average Joes who see this ad on TV can't tell, right? They don't realize. An advert focused on animals this much probably would be CGI in another world. But I feel like we kind of just skipped that step of CGI where you still need to sort of get, I guess, like graphic design artists and people who know how to work creatively with CGI. We kind of skipped that and went straight to like just the slop version of these ads. And yeah, look, it's kind of nothing. I mean, we have the iconic Coca-Cola trucks. That is from a very iconic Coca-Cola Christmas advert, but it's just referential here. Firstly, it doesn't feel connected to the ad in a significant way. It's like, what, the animals are just watching the trucks go by. And secondly, for example, this is the original Coke ad where they got real like Coke trucks to drive around and be in this Christmas ad, and that feels impressive because it's real, because it is real. They actually got a bunch of Coke trucks to drive around and they filmed it. There's at least something tangible in here, and it's impressive that they got all these trucks all lit up and they're actually humans in this version of the ad, right? So this is kind of the ad that they're pseudo referencing. It's a very iconic 1995 ad from Coca-Cola, but this is just the slop version. It's just the nothing beginning version, it has nothing. There is no soul in this version of the ad. If anything, it almost looks too perfect. In this version of the ad, we've got real people. They've had to actually light the scene. They're filming actors. Like, this guy's face is not perfectly lit. There's shadows, there's imperfections that make it real and human. And any parts of the ad that are sort of perfect or perfectly choreographed are that much more impressive because they had to get it to look like that in real life. They couldn't just tap a few buttons and make it look perfect. But this like AI slop bullshit, it feels too calculated, right? It's like everything is exactly perfect. None of this was like, oh, it's so lucky that they got that shot. It's so impressive that they got all these trucks. It's nothing like that. It's not impressive. It's just cheap imitation. So just like the McDonald's ad, Twitter was alight with reactions and criticisms for this ad. Someone said, even Christmas is just a bunch of fucking zeros and ones now. Even Christmas. You can't be serious. That's kind of why I wanted to make this video. Christmas has always counterbalanced that profit-seeking, marketing, company-driven stuff with heart and with feeling. And even when these companies were trying to make a huge profit, they still had to put heart and effort into the advertising to make you feel the Christmas spirit. They had to play ball and be a little bit warm and wholesome. Now it feels like they don't have to do that. It's just cheap slop. As that person said before, all of us piggies have to eat up. So for anyone curious, this is the company, I guess, that helped out with Coke making this ad. This is Secret Level. We've created some of the biggest, most iconic AI native projects in the world, partnering with brands, artists, celebrities, record labels, and movie studios to shape what's next. Whether it's fully generative or a blend of AI and live action, we built unforgettable work that moves culture. I don't hate the idea of AI being used alongside live action art. If it's the new CGI, right? Instead of CGIing a tree to look on fire, you do AI to make the tree look on fire. It's kind of the same process, just with a few less technical steps. So something like that, do I have a huge issue with? Not really. But when you're completely, fully replacing the physical live action production, and now there's no camera people, there's no actors, there's nothing creative, then I have a problem with things, right? If it's like a set and there's actors and then there's a green screen and they say, okay, instead of CGIing what goes on the green screen, we're going to AI what goes on the green screen. Okay, I guess that's just technology moving forward, you know? But this kinds of stuff where it's completely, entirely fake is not something I can get down with. Oh, look, Coca Cola and then Kalshi, a freaking gambling website. Fantastic. And eToro, which... let's see. So when you Google eToro, it says is an Israeli multinational investment trading company founded in 2007 in Tel Aviv. Okay, I'm not going to dig into that at all. I'm just going to move right along. It's so funny that they have this listed as like a portfolio, like almost like they're bragging that they've done this work, but this sucks, man. These things that I'm looking at just look like ass. And I find it really lame that companies like Topaz Labs, Secret Level, and that one before, Sweatshop Films, they all brag like, oh, look we did something really cool. Like we really achieved something here with our collaboration on these adverts. And I just find it gross to not only do the ad in the first place, but then try and get credit for your production quality or for like the effort that was put in. What effort? It's a little tippy taps. That's all. And I wanted to highlight specifically in this Coke case a pretty egregious example of them doing just that, trying to take credit for the production side of something that is totally soulless and deserves the opposite of credit, frankly. You see, Coke posted a behind the scenes for the advert, and this is the current version of the behind the scenes posted by Coca-Cola, where they pull back the curtain, I guess, and explain to you how they made this AI advert. Spoiler alert, they just did a few clicks and taps, but they wanted to special it up, make it seem like more went into it than really did.
Hello, friends. Today we are going to look at something very special.
Fantastic when the behind the scenes starts with an obviously AI voice. That is just chef's kiss levels of irony right there.
You know, they're coming, the holidays.
Welcome to the making of the Coca Cola 2025 Holidays Are Coming ad.
It really feels like this work is, actively shaping how storytelling is evolving. It shows Coca Cola really reimagining the creative workflow.
No, they're not reimagining shit. They're cutting costs. People might say, well, that's what a company does. They have stocks, shareholders, they got a line go up. That's the point of a company. And I can understand that. But okay, if you're going to do that, be honest. Just say we did the ad AI because it was cheaper. Don't give me this bullshit that like we're on the cornerstone of art and creativity and we're just pushing like this medium into the future. Shut the fuck up. That's not what's happening. You're just trying to save a buck. Don't pretend like it's something special.
Creative workflow, especially in this AI era.
So even they are now referencing the iconic ad from 1995, knowing that it's obviously better than what they've done in the last 2 years.
The look they settled on is really interesting. They tried a few things out.
Okay, understand, this is not them trying out a few new looks. These are all of the types of art that AI has had to steal, scrape, and analyze the entirety of to be able to barely imitate some of the actual handcrafted art that has come before. Not realistic. It's not realistic. It's like, okay, calling this realistic is like saying that The Lion King in CGI is realistic. Like, yeah, it's obviously realistically animated, but it's obviously fake. When we watch Lion King, we know that it's not a documentary, guys. Like, come on. So here they are comparing the progress that they made and basically just how they've gotten better at cutting costs and saving money since last year.
The big question is probably how a tiny team, like 5 specialists, how they managed to churn out and carefully refine over 70,000 video clips.
70,000.
In just 30 days.
Why are these like two AI voices just giggling back and forth with each other? That's weird.
The team had to go way beyond just simple prompting.
Yeah.
Shaping the animals, getting the texture right, those big sparkly eyes.
Whatever they showed there, I guess it's like a little bit of color grading, maybe? They try to make it out like, oh, this is so much more than just a prompt. What, you have to put a prompt and then put an addendum to the prompt? Like a second prompt? Or even a third prompt? Whoa, calm down, guys. This behind the scenes thing to me is actually more egregious than the initial ad because they're trying to make this out as though there was a similar amount of effort put in. I mean, here, like, they're acting like this is a fucking 3D animated movie.
Models for the actual animation. There's still a little post and color tweaks, quick cleanup.
That's all it is a little bit of color tweaking. I don't know, maybe cropping the image. There is no, they said the word models. You're not working with models when you make this in AI. Model work is like 3D programs, Blender, that kind of thing. Models were not used in this at all. It was prompting this and then using more prompts or text to like refine the image somewhat.
What we used to fix at the end, we're now building right from the start.
Post-production is the new pre-production. Advanced reasoning models let artists plan and solve them early.
That line is hilarious. Post-production is the new pre-production? That doesn't even make any sense, guys. You're basically saying, yeah, post-production now gets done before you do a production. You're finishing the ad before you actually film it because they found a way where you don't have to film it.
Scenes feel real before production locks in.
Last year was different. Extensive post-production fixes were required. Wheels looked like they were sliding instead of rolling. Physics needed correction. Logos had to be adjusted and repositioned. Now AI is enabling creators.
So this to me is just ridiculous because they're talking about the process of removing any actual production, right? Any actual filming and literally replacing the entire process with just prompting. And how dare they use the word artist anywhere in this video because there were no artists involved in any of this bullshit. And anyone who was an artist, by working on this ad, you have revoked your artist pass. You know, you are no longer an artist if you worked on this advert. So why is this so egregious to me? Well, this version of the advert that is public is already, in my opinion, quite offensive. But what I find even worse is that there is a version of this behind the scenes ad that was posted by Topaz Labs, one of the AI generative companies that partnered in making this advert. This version of the behind the scenes was posted by Coca-Cola and then taken down. And the only reason I can still play it to you is because I guess Topaz Labs didn't realize that they had uploaded an unlisted version of the video that I was able to find, by the way, because I'm a little sneaky guy. Basically, they have this original version of the behind the scenes video that I think is even more offensive. So let's take a look.
In 2025, Coca-Cola and Secret Level partnered again to reimagine the Holidays Are Coming commercial. This time expanding into a brand new story world with animated characters, all celebrating the arrival of the Coca-Cola caravan.
So you might notice that this narration is completely different. I think this video was made either by Topaz Labs or by Secret Level. They both are obviously involved in the making this advert. I think this behind the scenes was supposed to be almost like a pitch deck for these AI companies. They were going to play this advert to a lot of their investors and people who are interested in these companies to really, really push the idea that like we're not just a AI production house, you know, we're artists. You know, we can really deliver the new forefront of advertising and art.
Every year since 1995, the iconic campaign has signaled the official start of the holiday season. Last year, our reimagining of the campaign became one of the most talked about ads of the year.
Okay, so firstly, the ad being talked about does not translate to necessarily good. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of the talking about the ad was negative, right? But again, just interesting that I'm pretty sure this is a real narrator. Like, I think they actually did write a script for this video because I think they were invested in really pushing and selling the idea of the ad. You have the ad itself, and then you have the notion of will other companies, will the industry at large accept this kind of approach? And I think this initial behind the scenes video was really pushing that idea that this is something that not only is Coke very happy with and very determined to continue doing, other companies are supposed to see where the winds are blowing and like jump on this trend as well.
By billions around the world.
Let's have a look at Coke.
Coca-Cola.
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 Coca-Cola. The Coca-Cola commercial.
It proved that timeless icons and cutting-edge technology could create holiday magic at a global scale.
Okay, so I don't know what that is. This was not involved in the advert whatsoever. Like, I don't know why they're showing this. This is where we're starting to get into the parts of why this video was pulled down and not made public anymore, because they basically lied about actual real artistry going into the advert. Also just interesting that they showed news clips and they did all this stuff. Like, this version of the behind the scenes, I think really was trying to be like a promo for these AI production companies.
This year, it was about more than...
This is like a nothing. Like, I don't even know. This is not a real behind the scenes. This is an AI generated behind the scenes image that I'm looking at. This is not how they made the ad.
It was about artistry.
Artists did not do this. This was not, I don't know where this came from. Did they AI generate concept art? Like, this is just so bizarre to me. And I really think they did AI generate concept art, because why would they take this version of the promo down? And why would these shots not be in the original behind the scenes version, right? We watched a lot of that and it didn't have these shots in it. So I think they're kind of admitting tacitly by taking this down. I don't know, like, they AI generated behind the scenes content. Is that not unethical as shit? Like, what are we doing here?
Our team of artists worked frame by frame, often
No, they did not. No, they did not. That is total bullshit.
to shape these characters, their gestures, their wardrobes.
Yeah, you know, there's like a whole animation team that's done all of this for, it's a little franchise you might have heard of called Kung Fu Panda. I think they might have done some of the legwork for you guys. And maybe your AI just kind of scooped all of that up, like it's done with everything that is in existence ever. And now they get to make a video basically bragging that they did that they've stolen a bunch of art, and in this case made up concept art to make it look like there's more artistry, when really all of it is based on other people having done better art before, stealing it, and then imitating a barely passable version of it.
Every detail was crafted to breathe life.
So that little animation, this where it's like changing in the background. That is not how AI works, and that is absolutely not how they made this advert. They're lying. This is another like AI generated behind the scenes clip. Like, I don't know why. The only thing I can think is that it's them trying to imply that a lot more artistry, a lot more time, a lot more effort went into this advert than actually did. To me, the fact that they feel like they have to lie about how much effort was put into the ad just makes it even more obvious how little effort went into this fucking ad. So we've got the little babies running around.
Always at its center is the
Okay, this makes absolutely no sense. Why would they be in Photoshop doing a single frame? Even if you were going to edit frame by frame, you would edit frame by frame in some kind of a video timeline. You wouldn't be taking the frames out of the video timeline, putting them into Photoshop, doing like a little edit, and then putting it back in the video time. This makes no sense. This part seems worse because it doesn't even look like they AI generated behind the scenes. This is like completely faked behind the scenes footage. Some intern or whatever at Secret Level screen recorded some bullshit to like fluff up the behind the scenes video and make it look like more effort went into this fucking ad than just a bunch of people tip-tapping away for a few hours. That's all they did, guys. I'm telling you. There was none of this Photoshop stuff. This is not how AI is worked on. I don't know what they're doing here, by the way. Pens, papers, artists. They didn't include this kind of animation in the updated behind the scenes video, which again just leads me to believe that this was all bullshit. I don't know who decided to erase the background of a Photoshop image and pretend that that somehow had anything to do with the behind the... I don't know why they thought people would believe that this was real. They have faked the process of the behind the scenes making of the ad. Ironically, it looks like more effort went into faking the behind the scenes than effort actually went into the full proper ad. How is that possible? I'm kind of blowing my own mind as I realize this, that literally more artists spent more time and intent making art, I guess, because this is kind of art in a way, to put towards this fucking fake behind the scenes video than was actually effort put into the actual ad. Guys.
with near human traits coming together in harmony, celebrating the arrival of the holiday season. For generations.
Okay, not a single person who worked on this advert was drawing anything on an iPad. That nobody who worked on this advert did that for a second. It was all just tip-taps. There was no stylus, no pen, no iPads, nothing.
The result is a truly global holiday story, crafted with technology, animation.
Okay, I don't know what they're pretending is going on here.
And imagination.
Like, I know these creative programs, and I'm telling you guys, whatever that footage was had nothing to do with producing an advert. They're just flubbing shit.
A celebration of anticipation, joy, and togetherness, with the magic of Coca Cola at its heart.
Gross. Yeah, so you can see the Secret Level logo here. I suspect that these guys put together this video and then there was backlash to the fakery going on here, and I guess after that they redid it. To their credit, this is a more accurate visual representation of the workflow that went into the AI ad. It's shit like this, right? Just typing things and then getting an image and then typing things and refining the image. That's all that they did. There was none of this drawing, none of this Photoshop. That was all just flub. Can we please stop with can we just stop with this AI bullshit? I know AI is going to be adopted in all forms of industry, and I understand that. And I understand that I can't stop it either. But when it comes to artistry, when it comes to adverts, TV, film, like, can we just keep those things in human artists' hands? Not for any other sake than just like, I want good art, you know? I don't want this dumb slop shit. I would rather some studio spend an ungodly amount of money on a Martin Scorsese or Paul Thomas Anderson movie than just throw $50,000 at some nothing burger bullshit AI slop. Okay? So yeah, I don't like this new direction. I think it's lame. I'm all for a little bit of capitalist consumerism around Christmas time, but this is just too far, damn it. I mean, some of you may have seen those ads and not even realized that it was AI if I hadn't have said so. I mean, a lot of people were dunking on it and pointing it out, but I think it's important to identify and shame, frankly, these companies and these AI advertisers that are just putting out worse quality product. They are lowering the standard of art and of advertising and of media. Just media as online media. On a whole, the quality is just coming way down and I don't like it. I find it sad, and that's why I'm putting together a handmade, a human-made video with actual opinions and intent and not just regurgitated AI summary bullshit, because I want to have a discussion. That's what these videos are. Discussing things that I find interesting, going over sometimes ethical dilemmas, sometimes the moral dilemmas. This kinds of stuff is problematic specifically for the fact that it takes away artists' ability to make money. Actors, filmmakers, camera people, lighting, sound, all of these jobs, all of these people are either going to be completely out of a job or they better learn how to become a fucking AI prompt engineer so they can keep a job in the arts, if we can even call it the arts after it all becomes AI slop. That is what incenses me the most, is depriving artists of what is already a difficult industry to be in terms of making money, depriving them further of an opportunity to have some kind of a wage, particularly around Christmas. How many people would work on like Christmas ads? That's their Christmas money, right? They're in Hollywood or in the arts industry and they work on an ad around Christmas, and that's the money they spend on their families, their loved ones, and now that's gone. And that's taken away because big ass companies saw the opportunity to make line go up a little bit on the graph, make number go up just a little tiny bit. And as they said in the behind the scenes, a lot of people talked about it, and I guess that's all that matters to them. But I hope that it matters what people say about it. And so that's why I'm saying this. These ads suck. It honestly makes me close to wanting to boycott these companies, although they're so big. How can you boycott Coke? I was like lightheaded before, and I grabbed a Coke just to hype me up, you know, and make it so I could film a video. These companies are too big to just like boycott or remove yourself from. I think really what we need to do is just say, we will not accept this as consumers. Set a standard of what we find acceptable, what is normal, and what is okay. And to me, this, not okay. I certainly won't let it stand by without criticism. I guess as a lowly consumer with not much economic power, getting on camera and criticizing what I see is really all the power that I have available. So that's what I've done. Hopefully I've made a pretty good case to you. There needs to be like a renaissance of real content and real art. Even if there isn't, the best thing you can do as a consumer of art is just go towards real stuff, real media, consume adverts and media that is real, that is proper, that is actual real life. You know, if we're gonna do like Christmas capitalism, at least make it something like this, where it's, you know, this is a handmade stop motion animation by the Wallace and Gromit guys. And yes, it's a Christmas advert. They're trying to sell you things. They're partnering with some Christmas like menswear company. It's real. They really put effort in, and there is warmth to something like this. Are we going to have a Christmas with no capitalism? No, that's ridiculous. Let's try and say, hey, if you're going to advertise to me, if you're going to do this capitalism, consumerism, please have real artists do it. Please have real people do it. Make it so it can feel at least a little bit warm and real. And yeah, that's basically my plea. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I'm done. I got nothing else to say. If you enjoyed that, go ahead, like and subscribe. I'd love to see you come back for the next one. I really want to try and sit down and just do these videos more often. I'm really going to try and push myself to do that. So I hope that 2026, there can be a whole lot more of my opinions on this channel and out into the internet. So hopefully you can enjoy that. If you do, then I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Cheers.